Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to the next episode review of Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman, episode 4. And gonna say, still once again, good episode. I still have been thinking this has been slowly procoming of a good show this season, like I said before. And it has been, and I've been enjoying the characters, especially for our main guy, Beryl. It just and some of the fights it just shows some of the realism it does. Like okay, sorry, um, like right now, like in this episode where after they get attacked by that they get attacked by this griffin, and funny where Serena like okay, like he had like one of the people that was training along with him is injured, right? So they have a potion, right? So they got two, and so like Beryl's thinking like he was gonna go take care of them while she goes and fights, right? Well, it happens kind of like the opposite. Like she's like, Sura's like, oh, okay, I understand. She goes and takes a potion, like just like I'm tagging out, right? And so she goes and takes care of it, and Beryl leaving to Beryl to fight the Griffin. And so it's like, well, of course, I guess, of course, this will have to happen, right? And he does pretty well fight. He does pretty well fighting the Griffin by himself. He does parry a lot, blocking with his sword and stuff, right? And it shows like once again like some of the realism is that like okay, yeah, but especially when it comes to being when he gets thrown out by fire again, like he's dodging and stuff, right? And it's like this is too hot, right? So he does show that he's good at maneuvering, but he doesn't want to get burned because it's fire, right? And it's like I said, it shows like he's not like that special guy who could just deflect fire with his sword, right? No, he jumps out of the way and stuff like from the previous one, he kind of with the wizard, right? And then all of a sudden now that and he's doing pretty well. Like he gets on the back of the griffin, he's holding on with one hand while he's holding the sword with the other. He does pretty well fighting on his own. And then it's that the griffin starts spewing out lava. I mean, he's stepping right through it though. It's not very hard to set him on fire, but he's like stepping, jumping, skipping, trying to get off it on the rocks. And so, and he does manage to stab it in the eye, blinds it, but his sword ends up breaking. But now, technically, could he taken it down to probably himself? He probably could have. Probably, he's blind in one eye, so he could probably hit it in the other eye with his broken sword. But then Serena comes in and just does the one hit stab and kills it. Now, yes, we could say yes. Now, is he strong? Yes, he is. But is he has the same strength like Serena does? No. But he is. But he was a guy who has. He's a guy who has a talent with a sword, right? He's not like a brute with super strength, right? Yeah, because Serena has more training and all stuff that she on her own, right? And so she has a bit more of a strength, more than he does. He's a guy who's very talented with a sword. Although he does manage to cut off the Griffin's tail, part of its tail, though. To be fair, but he does manage to hold off on his own, though, despite the little realism of just dodge out of the way of fire, like he's supposed to, right? But yeah, it's like it's still too hot. So, but yeah, could he have brought down the Griffin itself? I think he could have before Serena goes and one shots it. And so, and then of course, his students they praise him so much. Especially Serena, she praised him so much. It's like, I guess Amigo, I'm overpraising you. It's like, yeah, it is kind of a bit of an well because all the students look up to him. Because if it wasn't for him, they probably wouldn't be where they are if it wasn't for him. So that's why they're always praising him and they always look up to him for so much. Like we each got their own like little flashbacks of when he was teaching each of them. Like with this one here with the other girl that was one of his students that's with Alicia was a Karuni. We see how she's like how he's telling her always to swing from the hips, not just using her arms, right? So we see him teaching her swing from the hips. And say, hey, you have gotten a lot better since then. And anyway, they want to go take him to the blacksmith, to give him a new sword. So, and we found out we runs into another one of his other students. Well, this time it's a guy, but not only just a the guy is not a young guy. The blacksmith, the name Baldy. He's actually pretty much around like a little bit older than he is because we see another flashback to when he was teaching, right? So I guess had been like in his 30s, I guess. And I like the fact that he doesn't discriminate anyone. He'll take any students like to teach at his dojo. And the clearly guy was a lot older, way older than all the students. Because all the students he was teaching before, they're probably like 8, 9, 10 maybe. And we see him, he sticks out like a sore thumb when he stands in line with all the students, right? So he still managed to teach him the way of the sword. And I like the fact he didn't discriminate at all. He just took the guy in, despite his age, though. Okay, this shows what a good guy, a really good guy is. Doesn't matter if you're a child or not. You can even teach some older guys to use the sword. So he also, so that's another thing that what makes Beryl likable. So once again, he prays. Once again, like his student, hey, it's good to see you again. He has his own workshop as a blacksmith, and so Karuti has a short sword, but it won't do any good because it's chipped, right? It's not like it's been nicked or anything. So they give her a new sword, and so now so her, Karuti, and Alicia were with them, and then Serena comes in, with the leg of that griffin and wants to make it into a sword, and she wants it to be her master's. It's like, no, I can't accept such a guy. I'll just get a regular sword. It's like, no, you put you're a master. We look at you so much. Basically, you can have this sword. And Bali is like, yeah, I'm gonna have give me a week, and he's so excited about making a sword from a piece of a monster. He's so excited about that. Um, but so I think everyone here looks up to him as he's not a saint or anything, but he's like they just praise him so much because he is like he gave them hope because they wouldn't be today if it wasn't for him, right? Like Alicia wouldn't be the commander of the First Order, or Serena wouldn't be the big adventure that she is because of him and all that, and Crudy would be the same thing, and hey, and even his older student Bali, um, managed to get his own shop, as a blacksmith. So I understand that, like okay, and so then after night of out in the town with drinking, right? He walks back home, and so he was about to get pickpocketed by this girl, but then she managed to shoot out more flames. So she another person who has magic, and so I guess it's a place of I guess like she works with a place of thieves. I think it was called Mimi, or I forgot what. I'll get the name eventually, like I said. But she managed to lose a necklace that belonged to her that Beryl finds. So, but I think overall, once again, really good episode. This episode, of the series overall is becoming a really good series for the season. Now, when I say the other ones I think are being better this season, of course, I mean, not that the show is not better, but it's still very good for me though, because there's other ones I'm watching this season I thought were also great. I'm like with Colon, the generic romance, which is the next episode after this. So, and of course season 2 of Go Go Loser Ranger, which I've always been which I love from the last season. So, but but this show has been pretty good. Like, I like the fact that we have an older character who's not like a young teen, like we see a whole bunch of times in other shows, right? A guy who's an older guy, who taught to good students and they praise him for it. Okay, he's a talent with a sword, and he does manage to like some of the realism is like he manages. He's not a guy who stands in the way of fire and deflects it like he's so great, right? Like how it always goes in other animes, right? No, he jumps out of the way because it will burn him, of course. So So I do like that in a character, especially who's a guy who's a much older character, not a teeny bopper type of character, right? Now, surely, yeah, of course, the other, especially Alicia, especially has strong feelings for him because when she was walking, it was like, oh well, Corey was taking a walk in the town, and Serena, oh, go on adventures with him, and I want to do something do something with him, right? And once again, he says, "What'd you say?" And he's like, "Oh, nothing." So it does clear that she does like him, though. But I mean, well, hey, I mean, age difference, right? How the laws of these exist in these worlds of anime, right? I mean, clearly, like some things that does go around, like something like that, like with demons between demons and humans. I would say. I mean, that's one of the problems. That's one of the problems that people didn't like about Yashihime. The age difference between Sesshomaru and Rin. People got a little. People got a little offended by that because what would they say? Grooming. The term grooming. I mean, it was. I mean, to me, to me, it doesn't bother me at all. But I'm just saying, like age difference, right? Because he's a demon and she's a human, right? But to me, overall, that I don't know why people think that that's such a problem though. It's not a real life thing. Okay, it's only a manga or an anime. This is like, how is that a big deal? But I'm just pointing out though. But anyway, regardless, though, it's still a good episode regardless though. So yeah, I thought the fight between the fight against the Griffin, I thought it was well done. A lot of it did look like it was 2D, not too much of 3D animation. So that's another good thing as well. 2D animation was very good. So the fight was well done, as I would still say. So yeah, so overall, still a good episode on overall. So that's episode 4 of Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode review of Colon Generic Romance. And that's going to be. Well, after I saw that episode, I'm like, wow, what is going on? Later.